Welcome everybody to the All Markets webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap. We're going to be going through live order flow analysis using Bookmap, and any market that you guys want to look at is fine as long as we can connect to it with crypto, stocks, or CME Group futures. The whole concept here, or the thrust of the webinar here, is we want to understand the order flow. Participants in a digital marketplace can only participate in the market with their orders. It's the behavior of their orders. That's what we're going to be watching, and that's where order flow comes in, because we can read that in the software, and that gives us insight to the intent of other traders, or in general, the kind of sentiment of the marketplace. So let's jump in. There's a few news items I've got to go through here. So our onboarding schedule, this isn't new necessarily. This is how it is now for like a month or so. Dan is at 8 a.m. on Mondays. Brandon is at 4 p.m. on Wednesdays. And I am later today, Friday, at 1 p.m. So wherever you are around the globe, we can get you up and running in Bookmap. That's what we do in the onboarding webinar. Last day here, if you guys want to cram and maybe put a few extra pieces of content into the competition here, very, very simple. Just take a screenshot of Bookmap, mark up your chart with something interesting and insightful, and then upload it to your X, Instagram, or LinkedIn with the hashtag #FreeBlueJacket, and you can win over $600 worth of subscription value. It is the last day of it, so give it a shot if you think you can win. Anyway, good luck. And then Bruce's pilot program. So we had the Bookmap Academy meeting last night. We went through several images from the pilot program, which is a subset of the Bookmap Academy, and it's a process. It's very narrow process here, or the process isn't so narrow, but we are narrowing it down into something very specific that we're looking for. But the goal here is to build a trading edge. Okay, the setup we go through, but this is very, very different. We are building an edge. It's about back testing. I've come across so many different traders out there over the years, and they know what the setup is. They know the concepts, but they fail to understand how to build an edge, and how to back test, how to have several examples of this, and how to build confidence in the markets. And that's what this program is about. So I'll put the link into the chat if you're interested. And then the Bookmap Academy, our process. And this is what we're going to do today as well. It is, hold on, let me put this pilot program link into the chat for you. Looks like Dan already beat me to it. Thank you, Dan. Always so supportive. Much appreciated, Dan. Anyway, our journaling and building our playbook. This is where we want to go. This is how you build the edge. This is the checklist in the bigger picture of what we want to understand, the impetus, what's moving the market. I'll talk about that in just a minute. And then we're going to look at our key levels of interest on the higher time frame. Where do we want to deal? Where are others dealing? We're looking for reactions at our key levels, and we build out scenarios and strategies around those key levels. So we look for, well, if it comes up here, we're looking for it to fade, or whatever it is, or maybe to break out. Whatever it is, you build out that scenario and your strategy, but then it comes to your setup. It's different than a strategy. Your setup is a mechanical. You know it. You know exactly how to execute it. You've done it a million times. You grade your setup. Is it a good one? Is it a bad one? And then you determine your sizing. How much do you want to risk? Where are your stops? Where are your take profits? And then you look at the order flow and you simply execute and manage your trade. Okay, this is the process in here. All right, so let me go through the disclosures and then we'll jump in. General disclosure, all Bookmap limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Risk disclosure, trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, let's jump in. Typically, we start with the S&P E-mini futures contract, and many times we just stay on that. So let me know what you're interested in looking at. And we're going to start with the bigger picture, right? So it is a weird environment we are in, okay? This environment, and actually, you know what? I'm going to show you this in Bookmap here, this version of Bookmap, which is really fantastic. We can zoom out quite a bit here. All right, if I input just ES, right, it's a continuous contract, and we can show that in Bookmap. And I can zoom out for years now, and we can take a look at the price action over the years. All right, so yeah, well, this is just still showing 2025 here. You see the big drop in April, and where are we now? In fact, let me, we now can show the candlesticks on here. Let me show that. On candles. I love this. All right, let's look at a weekly candle in here because I want to show you something. And we'll dip down or dim down the chart and the volume dots. And what's interesting here with the weekly candle is as you guys can see the if we zoom in a little bit, see this gap in the data here. This is the weekend. All right, so you can see that the new candle here is showing what the previous week was like, open, high, low, and close. Then what we can see now and put together into the bigger context and picture is what was that volume like within that week? As you can see, this was a really choppy week, a few weeks ago. Back and forth after this big drop on I think this was on a Friday, right? Yeah, and a lot of chop, and then we have the next week, following week after that, we had a breakout. Okay, very slight breakout, just up to these highs up here where it dropped from earlier. I love being able to look at the order flow on the higher time frame like this. This is pretty amazing. And then look at the back and forth, but then here, October 23rd. Here's our breakout. Here, October 24th, it closed at all-time highs. Right? This is bullish. This is a big deal here. And technically, okay, we closed outside of this range here. And look at the week here. Okay, this week has been, all to the upside. We gapped up on Monday morning. And then we continued on up to the upside, and now we're seeing some back and forth in here. All right, so that's what's happening on the weekly, and look where we came back and retested back into that gap area right in here. Okay, great stuff to be able to see this. Anyway, let's let me take the candles off for now, and let's zoom in here and look at what's happening. Well, we can look at the daily in here if you guys like. Yeah, you can see the day close here, this little gap right here, right? So that is, yeah, let me put it on here. Just kind of curious. It's not this one. All right, and what was I talking about earlier? Like about an inflection point in here. That's going on in the marketplaces. So we're still on the big picture here. We just went over the big picture technically about the breakout, okay? And then now we're looking at the price action for the daily chart in here. And you can see some pretty big wicks in here on the daily, right? This back and forth. And you know, that's right. I mean, that's what we see. We're seeing chop and back and forth after that big gap up. All right, so what's going on fundamentally here? This is critical to understand. Number one, and why this is kind of an inflection point, is we don't have data. Okay, government is shut down. We don't have employment data. What is the market looking at out there these days? They're looking at the unemployment data for the Fed to make decisions, they just cut rates on Wednesday. We're at all-time highs, and they cut rates. This is a very, very odd environment, and we don't have employment data to look at. But we're looking at some of the inflation data, which has eased, therefore the Fed is willing to cut some rates. So that's what's kind of going on there. I don't know what I think about that, but that's what's happening. We also have, or had, at least now 5 of the I think it's 5, or maybe 6 of the Mag 7 stocks have all reported earnings. Okay, so we know the earnings. The earnings were good, we also had something funny with Amazon. They cut 14,000 jobs. It's going to be good for the stock, but what's the effect going to be on unemployment? Okay, so did UPS and someone else as well. I think Target. Anyway, so we don't have data. We have good earnings. That's driving the market. We also have some information from and fallout or aftermath of the trade talks as Trump is in China. It looks like it was muted as well. So here we are, and the earnings power here is what's driving things. Here we are, kind of right in the middle now of this whole big range here that we're looking at for the past several days, or all this week. All right, so we want to keep abreast of all of these things in here, because this is what's moving the market. Okay, that's the impetus in here, it's vitally important. And now the next thing is our key levels. What are our key levels in here on the higher time frame? Okay, well, let's mark them up. Clearly, the swing high up here is going to be important. So we've got that. The swing low down here as well from just yesterday. Where are we today? Well, you can see we kind of moved to the upside. It failed, and we're now moving to the downside. Where might we go on the downside here? That's what we want to look at. Well, there's another swing down here around this 62 level. Okay, and the other one I kind of marked up here. It's not too accurate, but it's around 55 or so. Okay, so we're looking at this, and technically this is bearish. All right, that's what we see so far. Okay, you can see the 930 cash open, the move to the downside, the pullback, the move to the downside, the pullback, and then now we're kind of in this choppy area in here. Now, guys from the Academy and Pilot program, we're going to dive deeper into the low volume pullback that we talked about yesterday. Okay, we're going to understand impulse moves, and we'll put a checklist together. I'm still kind of I haven't written up the checklist yet, but it's going to be pretty simple. Okay, I will do that later today, and I'll share it with you guys in the pilot program room. All right, so I've got a lot of materials coming for you guys very, very soon, as my time is freed up a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Look at the breakdown here. Okay, after 9:30. Okay, well, there's also a break here. Okay, break and a pullback. Break and a pullback. Okay, break, and well, the pullback came a little bit more here. Okay, so here's our break down here or here, and look at the pullback now. It's still a pullback, but look at the condition of this pullback in here. This is where we get into the nuances of it. I think these are pretty straightforward trades, and in my opinion, we can see the move earlier in the day, 8:30 here, pullback, and then basically this turned into kind of a wedge pattern. It went sideways for a bit, but it had a downward slant to it. Okay, but what do I mean by that? Let's just take a look at it here. Well, first off, it's more like this, and then you can see that this is holding here. Okay, so we're not seeing higher highs, and we're not seeing higher lows, and now we're going to be looking for the volume in here and the order flow. Okay, what is that condition like? Okay, let's turn up the heat map and let's turn up the volume dots a bit. Laura, I'll get to your question in just a minute. Okay, guys, so impulse move, pullback. This kind of turned into, you know, slant, kind of chop here with a slant to the downside, though. Okay, and then look at the liquidity in here. Okay, this is where I think you guys are going to really like this. The liquidity's pressing here and the liquidity's pressing here. 9:30 cash open, we get the dump. Okay, we get the break of that range and we get a pullback here. Okay, now this is the thing. We want to look at a break of range here, some sort of range, some sort of consolidation, and it is this pattern in here. Okay, especially up in here. How do we break it? Okay, we break it on size. How many points away do we go? Several. Okay, so in fact, we'll be able to zoom in here and see several low volume pullbacks in here on this move down. But the bigger one is here. Okay, just getting to the gist of it, impulse move, we get a pullback here, and then look at the volume on the pullback. Okay, look at the bars down here. The bars do a really nice job. These are volume delta bars. Okay, but the dots also show you the dots may be a little bit kind of scattered because of the price action. That's the only difference here, where it's consolidated here in the bars. Okay, so you'll see the bar and you'll see the reference here. Clearly, this is a low volume pullback. Very, very clear. Does everyone get that? You guys have any questions on that? Okay, I mean, you can even see it here in this view. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay, so some volume comes back in. Okay, not bad, right? But then a little bit of chop in here because this is a higher time frame look at this. There's some chop in here. Okay, so now we're looking at another range, and we're also looking for a fractal break of this range, and we get it. We get a low volume pullback even here. Okay, look at the volume. On a minute. Okay, so on this impulse move here. Now this impulse move is outside of this range here, right? Okay, just so you guys are clear, because this ranges within ranges here. But we see the break, we see the pullback, we see low volume here on the pullback from the buy side. Okay, look where the pullback came to. Okay, it came to the bottom of that range, and then it failed again. All right, this is what to look for. All right, now this one's a little more convoluted here. We zoom out, it looks pretty clear. But when you zoom in, like, you know, it's just a higher time frame move. It took some time to work out, but it worked out. Okay, so we have to identify a few things in here. Number one, we want to identify a previous structure, and we want to see so that's number one. We want to see the break of that structure, and we want to see it on high volume, and we want to see the move be pretty nice. Okay, it has to be a measured move, or it has to be. Basically, the concept is it has to move away from this value area so it does not come back in. We want to see the valuation of price here to be at a lower level, and we want to see the traders tell us that, okay? And they did. Okay, and we now we get a pullback here after all of that heavy selling, and that heavy selling, it pulled back quite a bit actually, but look at the buying in it. Okay, now these aren't always going to work. You have to, it's important to realize that this won't always work. Okay, a lot of times, even on a big move like this, it might come back up in here on low volume. And then we get big volume dot up here on the buy side, and everyone is trapped and it moves to the upside. Okay, but typically this is what we're looking for. Okay, this is the setup. Identify the range, identify the break of the range on high volume and price movement. Look for a pullback to be on low volume, back up into some structural areas. This is where the nuances are going to come into play, but you can look for usually the swings, or like a big volume dot in here, or a low volume dot, or a low volume node like right here. Okay, so this low volume node here, after this move here, look at the low volume node here. Okay, that's where price went to, and it failed again. Okay, so this is an easy way to use your CVP to look for that move or that test into that area, and then you're looking for sellers again. All right. Anyway, so, and this is, again, this is so fractal. It's funny because you can see in here on this move in here, you see several low volume pullbacks. Okay, move here, not so low volume here, but buyers can't hold it. Lots of selling, pullback again, lots of selling. Now we're getting a bigger pullback, and you guys are going to note many different things in here, and I kind of shudder to mention some of them, but we look for, like, you'll see this happen like 3 times, many times. You'll see this is trending now, and it's trending away from all of that big range in here. And where I shudder to say this is just the Elliott wave guys and all that kind of stuff, and hocus pocus this and that. Just look for the order flow to tell you that there's still more sellers than buyers. We're looking for a low volume pullback and then continuation. Now, in terms of liquidity as well, you can start to target some of that high liquidity on the way down. You can also target some of the swings in here on the way down. So take some off there. That would be hitting your single. Okay. And then this would be the extension. You get another one here. Let's suppose you took one off here. You were still in one. It came back up in here. You got in another. Now you're back in on 2. Took another off, maybe down in here. Okay. Maybe, or I'm sorry, right here. Okay. And you're still in 1. Okay, and you're moving your stop down. Well, then you would have gotten stopped out on this pullback here. Okay, but then you would have been looking maybe at the bigger picture and looking for another. Okay, now that's really kind of scalping these little zones in here. Again, the bigger picture is this is the pullback. Okay, after this big move, now we don't see all those small little moves in here, and we get our pullback here. And then we get our pullback to our low volume node, and then we get the continuation and the drive here to the downside. All right. Any questions, guys? This is the time, and we're going over. We have a pretty good example here, and go through some of the details in this low volume pullback. Okay, so we just went through what to look for in a setups checklist here. And how to reduce risk hitting singles, and then also how to scale potentially into this as well. All right. And what kicked it off here is this wedge pattern up in here. So if we go back, I think I even covered it in the video here for wedge. Okay, so let me just show you this. Stick with me, guys. Go to education here from bookmap.com. And then let's scroll down, supply and demand setups here. Okay, because this is what, and this is all by design in here. Really thought through a lot of these setups for you guys. So the idea is we covered the low volume pullback here. Okay, it's kind of a complex one. It's not as simple as some of the ones I just showed you. We covered the wedge pattern here. We covered a flag pattern, a failed breakout. We have mid-morning reversal. All of these in here, failed mid-morning reversal. All of these in here are those three are a bigger trend move away from an area, a chop for a while. It could be several hours, it could be several minutes, and then continuation move again. Okay, that's where you can look for the bigger pattern to play, but then you can start to also look at the low volume pullback within those patterns. Okay, so this is something that Shark you brought up yesterday that and I had forgotten. It's like, yeah, I did. I covered it in here. I said for a lot of these patterns, these continuation patterns in here, flag, failed mid-morning breakout, and wedge pattern, you can start to trade the low volume pullback after that pattern breaks. Okay, and this is where this will open up. You have to be very careful, but this, if you do your studies, you do your back testing, you have confidence in it, this is where you can start to knock it out of the park. Okay, you're going to be looking at the bigger pattern and then pattern this low volume pullback within the pattern to potentially manage your trade well. All right, so you might want to watch some of these again if that helps you. All right, Robert, it's clear. Okay, thank you. How did I get so many days in the chart? So this is just a version of Bookmap that's I think it's 7.6. Laura, you should be able to get it too. All right, this is a production version, and just input this when you add your symbol in here. Now this is only with Bookmap data. It won't work with Rhythmic. It'll work with Bookmap data. Okay, for futures, CME, and then just input ES or NQ. Okay, this will be the continuous contract. When you do this, here, this will tell me, actually, we can do it on this one as well. It'll tell me, do you want to, I'm already subscribed to it. I thought it would tell me, do you want to open a instrument copy? Anyway, yeah, just input ES or NQ and then try that. I think you'll see it, it'll work for you. All right, crypto is recovering. Yeah, crypto did not partake in any of that. In fact, what is funny, Stephen, and now crypto is recovering. What's funny about that, Stephen, is like the metals, like gold and silver. I mean, they were just going exponential a week ago, and then there was a ton of profit taking. I think I was looking for these scenarios coming out today after these earnings, the same thing. Okay, a lot of profit taking, even though the earnings are stellar, and we're at all-time highs, and we're going to see some people taking profits. It's a good time to take some profits. Okay, that's what I think we are seeing here right now. Okay, or maybe that combined with government shutdown. Lack of transparency in the data, and people are not too thrilled about the outcome of the trade talks in China. All right. Yeah, no, I think this is I'm on 7.6. Yeah, let me I'll double check it here. Hold on a minute. I'm on 7.6.0 build 27. And it has to, again, Alois, has to be Bookmap data. Okay, if you're using Rhythmic, it's not going to be working for you. All right. All right, guys, let's zoom in here. Let's get into some of the price action and order flow. I want to cover more details about that low volume pullback, but we went just through a ton here. Okay. So yeah, maybe it was just the Bookmap data part. Yeah. That's probably it then, Alois. All right, guys. Well, look at this here. Look at this breaking out here. This is so typical this time of day. All right, I'm looking for it to come back up to the swing here. Right, it's breaking out. It's breaking out on volume, on size. Let's see. And I'm going to clear all my drawings here, and we're going to put in another swing here. Well, you guys can see the liquidity right here at 68.90. So that would be my target on this breakout right now. This is good. This is strong volume. We are outside of this range in here. Let's see if we can get a low volume pullback and then continuation move on up. So let's take a look at this here. Okay, here's our strong impulse move. Here's our chop and sideways action. Okay, so now we're getting our pullback. Now, how's our pullback look? Okay, is it on low volume? It's lower. Yeah, not bad. All right, so let's see if we can get buyers above this. Okay, all right, so let's see if these buyers can continue. Nope. Okay, we're getting another retest here. Now, that was a huge spike. All right, so I don't know if I want to, partake in this. I'm still looking for buyers to be above here, but this is now not worth the risk for me. Okay, I'm still looking for it though. I'll tell you that, right? I just do not like that spike right here. Here come the buyers, right? And now we're looking for the move back up into this 68.90 and our other swing up here. And it might even go farther. Might even come up into this swing or this liquidity up here at 97 or so. Okay. Yeah, I mean this is odd behavior, and to me this looks like again maybe some sort of options hedging or something right here. I just don't like taking risk on that. I don't know if there might be another tranche of selling very, very quickly. Okay, so it keeps me away from this. Look where the pullback came. Let's just take a look at the even with that big kind of very, very quick move down and book sweep here. Let's take a look at this pullback. Right. This is the range it broke out from. Look where the pullback came. Okay, where it broke out from. A little bit lower, right here. Okay. There's another kind of range in here that broke. Sharks, see what I'm talking about in here? It's like one after another. It broke out of this range here. Okay? It pulled all the way back, 100% pullback. And then you can see that it's breaking out of a smaller range in here. And it's breaking out on size. Now, it's still within this bigger range, though, right? That's what you got to be careful with. So you'd just be looking for the move up to the top of this little range. Now, that's only 3 ticks or so, right? I'm just going through the concept here. And look at this. There's enough buyers in here for the breakout of the bigger range. We got it, okay? And then we have the pullback here back to kind of where it broke out from. And then we did get the continuation higher here. Okay, and then right now you can see it's just turned into some chop. Okay, but that was our target was this 68.90, and we always look to front run a tick or two, and you would have gotten filled if you were at this 89.50 here. Okay, so now let's see if there's still enough buyers in here. Okay, it's still holding this range. Okay, so we're seeing buyers come back in, and let's see if they can now sweep the order book again on another breakout up to this swing here. Let me see if I answered all your questions. No, Steve, in the subchart, I see stop selling, accumulation, icebergs. Okay, what do I think of it? Yeah, let's take a look. Not much. It's not really telling me too much at the moment here. This one is telling me the most. I like very much, Steve. Yeah, this one's good. This is a big stop run here, right? Okay. Well, it totally failed, right? When you see this failure and this back into the range in here, this is where you'll see it come back to the other side of the range in here, and you get a breakout of it. We don't know if we're going to get a breakout or not, but this definitely failed in here. We look for, this is more like a kind of back into the mean. A lot of times it'll go to the other side of the range and potentially break out from that range as well, okay, like it is doing right now. Okay, so what this means in here is a lot of people got stopped out, and we have buyers still finding value to move it back into this area right in here. Okay, and you can see the volume profile here, and it comes right back into the top of the range here. Okay, now you can see this is still continuing here. It's still kind of grinding higher here. This was our next swing up here, and it's just trading into that area right now. Okay, and we'll see if we get even a bigger breakout, right? More traders on the bid and lifting the offer here. Robert, does the ES tend to close gaps? Yeah, all the time. Yeah, I mean the ES, you compared to other markets, I mean, first off, the depth is unbelievable, and then secondly, there's always like a counter trend trade, typically something that comes back and retests. Yeah, and as Alois is saying, like, well, this is the way I kind of look at it. Alois is saying it may take weeks. Let's just look at our higher time frame candlestick. Okay, so we can see an island gap here. So Monday our gap up. Tuesday, is it Tuesday? This is the hourly chart. So, and I always get a little confused here. 23rd. Okay, so this is Friday, right? Okay, and this is the breakout and the close higher. Okay, here's Monday's gap here. Here's Tuesday's gap, which filled pretty immediately. I don't know. I guess this is Thursday or Wednesday, and then here's Thursday, and then we have today. All of those little gaps filled. Okay. Now this is typically what on the bigger picture in these gaps in here. Yeah, they may take weeks, maybe months, maybe even years, but they typically come back. But you can see this has come back quite a bit already. Okay, from Monday on that big gap up. Okay, it didn't come all the way back, but this is where if we get sellers in here willing to move this market lower, these are the areas to test. These will be a key level. Okay, the gap is actually down here on this hourly candle. Okay, that's where I see the close, and the gap is also down here. Now you'll get a reaction though somewhere in these areas in here. Okay, so it's kind of a zone. Technically, a gap fill is right to where it gapped from. So if you want to use the precise definition. Anyway, yeah, it just may take a while to roll over again. The bigger the gap means that this is the key for me. The bigger the gap like this, it just means that there is a ton of buying. There's a ton of interest. They don't want to even trade in this area in here. They're not interested in coming back to this area, and they're interested in price discovery and taking this higher. getting involved, not missing it, etc. So we just continue to move away from the gap. When all of that excitement wanes, that's when we're looking for these retests back into these gap areas. Okay, or the news changes, and that's when we're looking for it. Okay, so I hope that makes sense for you. It's something to study, and it should be a pretty easy study, Robert, to be able to look back into gaps. Let's see, cost trades. How to use SVP, COB, CVP. Okay, thank you, Alois. I see that you answered this. How do I use it though? Well, I love it. The SV. Oh wow, this is turning into something pretty nice. Okay. Yeah, I did not like this here, and now it's looking, even better. It's going to run out of some steam though. I mean, I think this is kind of it. The next target is it, and then I would not be wanting to put risk on up at this area in here. And yeah, Stephen, I would say it's a nice squeeze. Right. I mean, you got to think like, a lot of people are going to be buyers up in here, not buying breakouts, but some, but a lot of people short in these areas in here. Kind of missed some of these in here. Low volume pullback. Okay. All right. So impulse move. This is where Shark, I think it would be better to not look at this as a low volume pullback in here. I think it kind of is, but it's not very good. This is more like chop. It is breaking out. It did break out of this area here. Guys, let's just clear all these again. It did break out of a zone, and we got price discovery to the upside. We did get a pullback here. Now, this pullback wasn't on the lowest volume, though, right? What we're looking for here is basically at this point here is kind of like that flag pattern in here. Okay, so we know that this broke out from this range here. Okay, you can go down to here. Okay, it broke out from it, actually let me delete this one. It broke out from that, but look how it broke out. Okay, it kind of grinded up, and then we get a pullback to this area here, to the bottom of this range in here. All right, so at this point here, well, what's the condition of this zone here? Okay, let's take a look at it. All right, so in here, okay, we would assume that this is going to be high volume. We know that. Look at the volume dots, look at the bars, and then we get this chop in here, and we do see some selling in here, right? Okay, but so it's not the greatest, and this move in here was very choppy on the way up, which is not great. We want to see this kind of decisive move like this here. This looks good. This is your pullback, and then you get a continuation. Now, you guys in the pilot program, yeah, exactly. grind versus impulse, exactly. So you guys in the pilot program are going to love this because, oh boy, this continues to go. This is going to be a big stop run, Steve. Nice move there. Okay, so why I say that you guys are going to be so set up, or very nicely set up for the trend line break and accumulation after that is because you'll still be able to look at these areas in here and say like, okay, there's more buyers than sellers. Now we just need to get buyers back up above this here. And then we get some buying. You can look for that continuation and that move. Okay, so and look for it again. Okay, so we talked about this yesterday about looking at these impulse moves and where a potential pullback would come. Okay, so let's be honest. Like, you know, we know what happened here, but what do we see as a potential for a pullback? These little zones in here, okay, and also high liquidity where it transacted. Okay, your high volume nodes, your low volume nodes. Look at this one here. Look at the low volume node right here. Okay, look at your another one down here. Now we didn't get a deep pullback like that. Right, so now what we're looking for is a pullback into that area, and then we want to see the buyers come in. Okay, and we want to see a microstructure break in here. Hold on, let me do this. Okay, and then here's our little structure right here. Okay, it pulled back to that area. Here's our little structure, and then here are the buyers back up above that. Okay, and we get our continuation. Right, and it's, again, this is grinding, but then we see the pop here, but we know that's a big stop run. All right, so I mean, here it is pulling back right now. Now let's do the same thing in here. Now I don't like it at this point, it's up too high, but here's our little structure right here, right? This little zone here. Okay, so what we need to see now is buyers back up above that. There they are. Okay, let's see them now come back up and retest back up here, 99.25, something like that. Let's see if they can. They should. Okay, if there's more buying in here. No. Okay, so that one didn't work, and I didn't really like it to begin with, because now after a big stop run like that, this happens a lot. Okay, so it kind of chops around back in these areas in here. Okay, let's see. We get another retest though. Let's see if there's still more buyers interested here. Okay, let's look at the condition of the order flow in here. Okay, so here's our structure. Same structure horizontally here. Okay. Again, I don't have high confidence in this. I just don't. I've seen too many of these where a big stop run like this up at the end of a big run. We got the figure up here at 6,900. But after a big stop run, a lot of times, you know, we don't get that interest again. All the it's not new buying in here right now. Okay, it's buying that was covering. Okay, due to the order book sweep. All right, so we need to see that new buying coming in. Okay, what does it look like in here? Well, I don't like it either. That 98 liquidity here, they're pulling a little bit. Okay, now it's getting a little bit more interesting. There's high liquidity here. It just transacted, or higher liquidity, not the best, right? Yeah, and let's zoom out here. Let me just put the brakes on for a second. Is this a low volume pullback? Okay, let's go back into here. No. Look at this high volume, right? You wouldn't be looking at impulse move. Looks great, okay, but the volume doesn't look great. Okay, this is not what we're looking for. All right, we'll find another one where it's much better, and we'll likely find it real time here. Okay, let's see if and now we broke. We're still really in a range in here. Okay. A lot of selling, pullback. All right, sellers here. Now let's see if we can get it though. Okay, nope. Looking for sellers here at 95. Okay, let's see them take it down here to the swing, 94, and then 92 3/4, and 91. Let's see if they can do that. Okay, not a good example, Shark. But you do see the volume in here, and in terms of an impulse move, it's not that great either. Okay, and there's some chop in here too. Okay, but the impulse move is or the volume here looks pretty good on the sell side. The volume on the buy side doesn't look so good. This happens a lot as well. You get this one more kind of push like this, and it fails though to break out of a structure here. Okay, so let's see if it does or not. No, it's breaking out. Okay, so yeah, we have to X that one as well. Okay, the volume in here it negates it. We have to look for something else. Is it becoming clearer for you guys? Okay, thanks, Robert. Yeah, see how we like this. This was our, uh, we like the volume over here on the sell side. We didn't like it as an impulse move. This would be your low. This would be a very, very quick low volume pullback and move back down to the bottom of the range. Robert, you're starting to have two favorite setups. Are these them? Low volume pullback and this trend line break and accumulation, or is it something else? You've really gotten good at the trend line break accumulation. These two, yeah, they're going to work so well, like hand in glove, really. And that's so. What you've got is you've got a reversal, and then you got a continuation, and they're the details in it will help you in all sorts of other types of setups, like I said about wedges, false breakouts, even ranges, even like double tops, like you were kind of pointing to yesterday in the Academy meeting. Okay, so let's see. This is a low volume pullback here. Okay, now it's not really much of an impulse move, but it did do it. Okay, this is what I mean here. Okay, it's in chop, right? We know that. Okay, but we're just looking for the move down to here right now. So here is the volume. Okay, here is the pullback. Let me try to make it clearer. Okay. This would be the impulse move. Here's the pullback. Okay. And then it's chopping here. Now we're looking for volume here, around here, then the move down. Okay. Take some off at the bottom of the range. Hold one though for a runner. Okay. Stop to break even at that point, or however you want to manage your stop. Okay. Because it should work. It might do another chop back in the bigger range here though. That's why within this is kind of a silly thing, because it's within the range. Okay, we're looking and we're saying that this is the smaller range within a range here, right? That's what we're saying. So it still holds true. It's just micro kind of range within the bigger range. Okay, so here we got our kind of test down here again, and let's see if we can get follow through though. Okay, so you would have, maybe you would have gotten filled here, maybe you wouldn't have. Okay, let's see, you might probably get filled now though. Okay, you would have gotten filled there. All right, so this one's working. Now let's see it break though. Okay, and we're looking for, again, how much is in the tank here. Okay, so let's see. This is our measured move, right? Now let's duplicate that, and then let's move that over to here. Okay, so yeah, maybe somewhere around here. So this is a good target down here. This liquidity at 92 3/4. Okay, and you would front run again by a couple ticks. Now this is where I mean, it's doing it, right? Now we're looking for continuation though. Now this is where you have to be very, very careful with these very, very small ranges though, because like we were saying earlier, we want this to move away on volume and size, away from the area. If it's on a small move, there can be a retracement back into the range, and buyers can come in and take it to the other side of the range and break out to the other side as well. All right, so that's why we want to see the separation here. It really has to move away, and it has to move away on size, because right now we can see the opposite unfold here. We can even get this kind of, a break in here. Hold on. Okay, and if we get buyers back up above here, right? So now you took some off, and you probably got stopped out on the remainder. All right, at break even. So no harm, no foul. You took a small profit. Now you can even be getting in back on the trend line break and accumulation, and you would have already hit your single here, or maybe you're holding for a single up here at 98. Anyway, the stuff is in here. This is small time frame, but it's in here. Okay, now we use this. We're mostly what we've been talking about in this webinar here has been about market structure. We haven't talked so much about order flow, but understanding market structure is critical. Okay, it's been volume and structure. We haven't talked too much about liquidity, but this is another element. I'm just trying to keep it simple. It's another element that we are going to put in that is critical as well. Let's take the candlestick off. Trading is life. Where are you at? You're late for class. Yeah, exactly. Where is he? He's gonna like this. No idea. What you don't understand, Laura, is where would the stop be in the micro move? Okay, so first off, Laura, don't mess with the micro areas in here for now. Okay, this is a webinar, and we're going over this, and we're trying to find examples in real time so you guys can see it unfold in real time. And I always do this, and maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just go back in hindsight. Do you prefer that, Laura? Do you want me to just go back in hindsight and show better examples? We'll put the replay files together for you guys on the higher time frame. Don't worry about that. But when we come to these webinars, we have a sliver of time to go through some of these concepts and ideas. You tell me, Laura. I mean, because like the micro, let's talk about stops though, okay? And take profits. We're looking for the simple, hit the single, get out, build the confidence, and then look at your, move your stop up, because it should work, right? It should break out. We're looking for it, or it should continue. Basically, if it doesn't, then something's wrong, and just get out. Okay, and look for the next one. There's going to be so many of these, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so now look at this here. Okay, now this one's convoluted in here. I don't like it. This is basically we're in the range here still. Okay, this looks like it's great. It's enticing you. It looks like it's going to turn into a flag pattern and come up here to 900, and it may, right? It may, but we're still. Let's just get rid of all these drawings again. We're still within the range here, though. We're in this range. Okay, we want to see it break away from the range on size. Okay, so don't be duped by these. You're going to get in a bad position, and then this thing can come back to the other side of the range in here and trend to the downside. Okay. And there's a bigger range here as well. Right. Okay. I'm sorry, Laura, if there's been any sort of misunderstanding there. Just trying to show these things on the smaller or in live market. That's all. I always thought that these things were it was more beneficial to kind of prove it in the live market so you guys could see it, and it's like, okay, you know, see how this is would have duped a lot of people to buy this breakout here, and look at them, they're getting hurt. I'd look for it to trade down to this 93 or 92 and a half or 92 and 3/4 liquidity here. Okay, and then we should probably see a stop run there. Stop run starting to unfold. Let's see. Let me get to some questions here. Okay. All right. No one over in YouTube. No questions. Okay. Problem. And Discord. All right. Let's take a look at Robert's content here. I'm going to show you guys. Anyone? Look, I'm really going to encourage you guys. Robert, I don't know how many pieces of content you've marked up. It's been tremendous, and you've built a ton of experience in a very short time. You've hit that replay mode hard. You asked questions, you marked up your charts, you posted in the room, in the pilot program room, and all of a sudden, like now, in a very short time, it's amazing. And all of you guys, in a very short time, are now experts in these and learning nuances to it. Let's see. So yeah, this is your low volume pullback here. Yeah, here's your. Now, like I said, it's not much of an impulse move. Here's your, you can even see it here in your CVP. Look at that low volume. This up. Okay. Right to it. Now you know that's going to be there, right? You know that because look at this move, and it blazed through there very, very quickly. Now it's a lot of selling, but it was only here for a minute or a second, and you know it's going to be a low volume node. Here's your low volume node pullback, selling coming in, perfect. This is it. Okay. Now, unfortunately, on the micro here, you would be looking for, trying to take some off or, reduce some risk at the bottom of the range here. I see what you did, though, is you moved your stop down very, very quickly. Okay, and I think that's the right idea. And then you went for the target of being the high liquidity. You moved your take profit up here, right by that high liquidity that is right here. I think this is beautifully executed. Okay, nice job. And then it continued to grind lower. Just hit singles for now. Don't worry about all of this down here. Okay, you'll get there. And more and more practice, more and more experience, you'll be like, yeah, I've seen enough of these. Like, I'll even leave my stop up here and not worry about it. Maybe, I don't know, whatever it is, but you'll come to conclusions on how you want to manage this. And I think what you're doing right now is excellent. Okay, this is a great markup. Yep, you identified the low volume pullback. You identified the kind of, I shudder to say impulse move, but you get the idea here. Okay, look at the range up in here too. Breaks away from it, right? Just like you're saying, this is a great markup. And there's your low volume pullback. There's no buying in here, very, very little. And then you start to note the selling coming right back in. Boom, you're in, and you're targeting. Okay, and you're moving your stop. Okay, it should work, right? And it should, because you've seen it enough. That's why. And if it doesn't, this is something that I failed to mention maybe yesterday from the Academy meeting, that I think is so hard to learn something. When you know your setup, and you've done it in replay mode a million times here, or hundreds of times, thousands of times maybe. When you know your setup, you have expectations now for it. It should work. It usually gives you what you want. It doesn't always. When it doesn't, you know how to take a loser. And this is really a subject that we don't hear much about. Everyone, it's kind of like that pilot program. Oh, you should build an edge. You got to back test, and no one knows how to do it, or no one does it, or whatever the case may be. I think it's the same with this how to take a loser. Everyone will say, oh, you got to learn how to lose. To win, you need to learn how to lose. You're going to learn from the experience, and you'll know how to lose correctly. This is a big deal in my book, that you'll be able to step back and say, like, this is not working. This is not what I'm looking for, and I want out. And that will make a big difference. Okay, because you'll be able to reduce the risk. So if you know your setup and you know how to win, now you know what it looks like when you're going to lose. Just take the loss and move on for the next one. Okay, and the more and more that you do this, the more and more confidence you'll know that it was a loser. Don't let it roll off your back, and look for the next winner. Okay, the next setup. All right. Good stuff, Robert. Really, guys, this is what it takes. I mean, Robert's outstanding here, and marked it up very nicely on a very small example here. All right. Now, this is where I encourage you guys in the pilot program to mark it up like this. You'll get feedback. You'll start to. This is another big part of the pilot program, is you're going to learn from each other, and that's going to be that community, and then learning from each other is going to be a huge thing. Robert, if someone's listening to me, they can't lose. Oh boy, I'm not going to touch that. Look, the thing that's beautiful here is you guys are building this yourself, and you're building your own edge. You're building your own confidence. We just have the process. We have the structure, and like I just mentioned, it's a big part of it is the community. So Robert, you've done the work. this is what you're getting out of it, and that's amazing. And how long have you been doing this? Like a couple weeks or something, or maybe a month or something? And you're already like, knocking it out of the park here. Well, you've got your feet underneath you and you're moving forward with some speed. It's amazing. And then 5 minutes later, you're putting in your trend line break accumulation. Yeah, I mean, it's tiny, right? It's a tiny one, but we're just looking to hit the single up into here, right? That's it. And that worked as well. Okay, it might be a nicer one starting to show right now. Okay, now again, this is not a good one either, right? Look, let's go through the elements for the trend line break accumulation. Okay, if we're going to get that or not. Let's take a quick look here. All right, so let's mark up some of these ideas or some of these elements here. Just these 4 elements, right? So number 1 is we're looking for accumulation passively. Okay, I don't like it. It doesn't look too good to me. Okay, doesn't mean that this won't work, but like this is not an A+ setup. Okay, I mean, here's our trend line, and I like this, the first trend line I marked up here better. Okay, here's our breakout. Okay, so where are we looking for it to go? Well, I'd look for this. It's already traded it. It's already broken out to that, and I would have taken some off right there. All right. And now I'm looking for something more though. And what do we talk about in the terms of nuances in here? If we don't see really good accumulation here passively, we are looking for a pullback. Okay, here's our pullback already. Okay, and we don't know if it's going to hold or not. But see, we can't lean on this passive buying in here for the a bigger move, because there's not much. Okay, so we see another move back down. It's mostly the aggressors that moved it up here. Okay, so it's just kind of turned into right back in the middle and chop in here. Okay, so we don't know. I mean, maybe we trade down lower into this high liquidity in here, and we get a lot more accumulation, and then the structure starts to unfold again. All right. Oh, you got another setup here as well. Okay, let's see here. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, Robert. Yeah. So this was your continuation move or your low volume pullback. Waited, you saw something else. There's your accumulation, number 1. Number 2 is the structure on the higher time frame. That's a little suspect. It's not much of a higher time frame level, but I know the differences and what you're looking for. And then the break and the structure. Okay, again, I really this is where a lot of people get confused, and it's a trend line break. It does break it, no question. But we want to also understand this structure here, okay, and that break, okay, because you can see it came back and retested here. Okay, this is exactly, I was just about to say this. This is the safer entry. Okay, when you start to see, there's even a little structure in here that is broken. Now it kind of waffles around in here, but then we see the buyers do come in. Okay, there's even another one here, and that might even be a low volume pullback right there. Okay, does that make sense to you guys? So this would be here. Okay, here's your kind of impulse. Okay, chop, but impulse, pullback, more volume here. Okay, another impulse. Anyway, Laura, like I said, I kind of shudder to. I mean, it's doing these things. There's no question. But these examples in here are very small time frames. Okay, I mean, heck, we'll even see these things happen on, sub-second levels. If we zoom in here and really look at microstructure, you'll see the same things. Okay, but it happens on all time frames. Okay, if we zoom out here, this is kind of turned into like a big flag pattern now. Okay, so let's take a look at it. I don't really like it, but here's our breakout, right? Here's another zone or um, swing that we broke out from. Okay, it's this move here I don't like, but you can see structurally it looks pretty good as kind of a flag. I don't like seeing this down here either. Okay, this volume in here, right? So I don't know about this, like maybe just back up to the top of the range. If you're looking for a microstructural trade, like Robert's looking at in here and like we've been covering, this would be the place to take some profit, okay, up in these areas here. Anyway. Yeah, if you're, that's a key thing. If you're looking at the smaller time frames, you got to take your profits on the smaller time frames. Okay, maybe they develop into something bigger, but you'll have to determine that later, and then how you want to manage all of that. Okay, they could be great. They could turn into some really beautiful moves, amazing moves. I mean, this can turn into a beautiful flag pattern here, or continuation move. It could be amazing, right? But we don't know yet. I'm not really seeing it right now. Okay, but some of these other moves on the smaller time frames, we can look at those as being better at the moment. Sometimes these bigger patterns in here, though, will just be shouting, screaming at you. Yeah, so let's see here. Let's see if we get it here. Okay, so here's the move back up here. Okay, and there's a lot of volume here on the buy side. So I'd look for them to trade. I'm looking for that to hit this 6,900 here. We've been flirting with this area, the high liquidity here, and we've a lot of times we get shy of those little areas, and then finally we come back in and trade into these areas here. Now there might be enough momentum here to not only trade into the 900, but to get something even above that, up into maybe 03. Okay, and why is because of this volume in here. Okay, it's all aggressors in here. Robert, I still look back at this accumulation passively, and it does not look that good to me. Okay, so I would look for the 900, but maybe that's all we get. Anyway. All right, let me see if there's any more questions. Take a look. All right, we're good on YouTube. Let's go back to Discord. I think we're good. Any questions? Shark? No questions? Sil is asking, how can I spot a single in the SVP or CVP and COB? Well, it's really yeah. In the COB, you're looking at your high volume or high liquidity here. Okay, all these passive orders up in here. That would be kind of areas where we'd look for a price to transact, because there's a lot of liquidity there. The CVP or SVP, okay, this is chart range volume profile, and this is session range volume profile, and all it means is that get rid of all this stuff again. All it means is that chart range volume profile is dependent on my zoom level. Okay, whatever is in my viewable chart range, I will get the profile for. Okay, so if we zoom in here, you can see that it reflects this as being the bottom of it here, and this is the top of it here, okay, of this volume profile. That's all. Okay, so how do you use it? Okay, well, let's take a look in here. All right, so we'll look for, this is a low volume node in here. Okay, so I don't really like it. I don't think it's very meaningful, but let's zoom in here. Here you're going to see a low volume node right here, right? There it is, okay, right there. Because of this break here, okay, this broke down below this little range in here, and you get a pullback to it. Okay, so there's our low volume node, and then look what happened here. Okay, sellers come back in. Okay, so let's see if they can continue down lower. Okay, I don't know about that because, you know, this seems like a value area in here, but maybe. Okay, still, this is one way to use it if you like it. You can also right click and configure it and put in delta here, or you can duplicate this column, just insert a new one from where you came from, and then we can look at both. One that's delta, one that's all of the volume. Yeah, I mean, you can look at it as like here, it was just one print right there, but that's a delta. That's a delta column. So buy minus sell, but I wouldn't necessarily lean on the SVP or a CVP column delta as low volume nodes in here. Okay, because as you can see here, look at all the volume that transacted here, but buy minus sell is rather equal. That's what it's telling us. Okay, we're not, and we would be looking at total volume in here like this, because I would be, at least. I have not done studies on any kind of low volume pullbacks in these areas. What I like to look at in terms of delta is where I see a lot of potentially trapped volume in areas, or leaving away. This would be the trap up in here. These guys up in here, there'll be sellers down in here, or vice versa. All these sellers below 95.5 here, they will be buyers up here. So just to avoid confusion, let's hide the delta column. Okay, does that make sense? Still? Okay, yeah, you're welcome. Okay, oh great, Shark. Okay, so this has been a good session for you. All right. All right, guys. Well, let's wrap it up. It's Friday, and we covered a lot of examples in here. God, we couldn't even get up to 900. Really, really. Well, you know, look. Again, it did get up to the swings in here, and it did hit high liquidity here. I thought there was enough momentum to go into 900, maybe 03. If in my opinion, or my experience, I would say, my experience with the replay files tells me that if I don't have lots of accumulation passively in here, and then a break of structure on high volume aggressively in here by buyers, then I just look at the swings or just in front of the swings as the move. Okay, and I take profit. Okay, because I'm not looking for much more. We don't have that consensus here for that reversal or whatever it is that we're looking for. In this case, it would have been a reversal on a micro time frame here. Okay, so just the move up into here makes good sense. Okay, there's enough buy volume. Like I said, there's enough buy volume in here for momentum though, for the continuation. It just didn't get there. Now we're seeing, look at the sellers taking it right back, back into these, back into the low of this range here. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Thanks for coming, everybody. Let's call it a week. Happy Thanksgiving, happy Halloween to everyone. Have a good Halloween evening, and we will catch up with you next Monday. All right. Yep. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you then. Over in YouTube, yeah, please hit the like button and give us a thumbs up there. Subscribe to the channel. Really, better yet, it's come over to our Discord channel. There's a lot more going on. It's all free. All you need to do is register at bookmap.com. You don't have to purchase anything, but you'll get access to the whole community, and you'll be able to ask questions and interact with others. All right. Thanks for coming, and we'll catch up with you on Monday. Bye-bye.